great pleasure for me to be here tonight. That clip that Irene played, I don't know what got into me that day. That was the day when the UNC brought this ridiculous motion against Dr. Rowley. And the thing was just getting worse and worse and worse. And the Spirit take me. And I say, I getting out of here. And my parting words were, come outside and say that. Come outside. Cowards. I don't know what went on there. And that lived with me. They make a song about it. But I had some good times in the PNM. Some very good times. I've been a member now for 30 years. And we're in Central, and particularly we're in this part of Central Trinidad. And you heard Ronald Hira talk about his 19 years in local government. Ronald was first elected in 1999, for those of you who don't know. And he won by 148 votes, the District of Enterprise South. 148 votes in 1999. It wasn't easy in those days, in 1999. UNC was on a rampage. PNM was under pressure. It wasn't easy to win a local government seat in the Chaguanas Corporation. But Ronald won that seat, 1999, with a majority of 148 votes. And since then, they can't touch him. Now his seat is unassailable. They could try what they want. They can't beat Ronald Hira in Enterprise South. I've had many good times with him, many good times. I'm also very proud of our two councillors, Janelle Jo Ryan from Edinburgh, Longdonville, and Lisa Holder from Enterprise North Esmeralda. Very proud of them. They can't beat them either. You see them three? They just can't beat them. And I love the spirit in Central Trinidad and in Chaguanas. I love your spirit. And when we looked at the last local government election, our candidates also in Montrose and Canupia gave them a run for their money. So take a bow, Central Trinidad. And we will eventually win the borough of Chaguanas. I spoke about Frankie Can the other night. Frankie contested the mayoral seat 3 times. Came out of nowhere, Mr. Manning knew him long time. And Mr. Manning was waiting for him long time. Not so, Frankie? And harassing him long time. And eventually the opportunity came in 2000. And Franklin Can was selected as the PNM candidate for mayoral. And he lost by 1,800 votes. But that was the period when we had 3 elections in 2 years. So in 2000, there was an election. And then very shortly after that, in 2001, there was another election. That is when 3 members of the UNC walked out of the government, and the Pandey government collapsed. Strange things happen in politics. We had lost the 2000 election, and it looked like another 5 hard years of opposition, but it was just 1. So Frankie came again, and he contested mayoral again. This time he lost by 800 votes, and he was still smiling. I noticed this man has this perpetual smile. So anyhow, we came into government 1818, and Robinson picked us. We couldn't pass a budget because we couldn't elect a speaker. We didn't have a majority in the House of Representatives. PNM had 18 seats, UNC had 18 seats. So we had to go to election in October of 2002 in order to get a majority to be able to pass a budget. Frankie come again. And this time, 250 votes, I got it right? So he went from losing by 1,800 votes, losing by 800 votes, and winning by 250 votes. And that is what PNM is all about. And I've told you that story because sooner or later, you will win a majority in the Chaguanas Borough Corporation. You just keep at it. And I come here as a member of Team Rowley. I'm very honored and privileged to be selected or asked by the political leader to take over from Frankie. Frankie has given us yeoman service, but he's had some slight health challenges. I mean, he's had a miraculous recovery. He's doing a fantastic job in the Ministry of Energy. I was asked by Dr. Rowley to take over as chairman. It came as a great surprise to me. In fact, in this election, I was just waiting to hear what Dr. Rowley had to say. If he wanted me to contest vice chairman, no problem. If he wanted me to step down, no problem. As my friend and colleague, Fitzgerald Hines, my brother Fitzgerald Hines has done. If he wanted me to contest any seat, I go in. And he asked me to contest chairmanship. And as a loyal soldier, I am here to contest the position of chairman on Team Rowley. But Team Rowley is very important. It's very, very important that you understand that we are a team. Every single one of the candidates on Team Rowley brings something to the table. Foster Cummins brings exuberance. I think Foster wanted to be General Secretary of the PNM since age 19, not so, Foster? We had to wait about 20 years for that. So he finally made it. And he will beat the groundsman on the 30th of September. And beat the groundsman to a frazzle. I with you with that one, Irene. The PNM has a groundsman. His name is Rowley. And he works at the Queen's Park Oval. We don't need any other groundsman. Our General Secretary is Foster Cummins. Foster Cummins has been around. He's been with PNM, in opposition, in government, and he has stayed with the party. And that's what makes a true team member. Every single one of these people has been with the party in good times and in bad times. I've been thrown into opposition 3 times. In 1995, in 2000 we went back for second rounds, and in 2010 I've been thrown into opposition. And you only really truly understand what politics is all about when you find yourself in opposition. And then you have to fight to get back into government, which is what we did in 2001, and we did it again in 2015. And nobody thought we would win that 2015 election. Nobody. There were a series of opinion polls in 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, and they didn't give Dr. Rowley a chance. But by 2015, the tide was turning. And you see, Dr. Rowley is a very driven man. I remember supporting him in his leadership bid in 1996 when he was contesting against Mr. Manning. And the team at that time lost every position, every single one. Political leader, chairman, lady vice chairman. That slate that Dr. Rowley had at that time lost every single position. And I remember I was the scrutineer selected to count votes. So they counting votes at the end. I on the stage, I have a Rowley button on my chest here. I have 100 men in around me. And they're counting. They count political leader, they declare that for Mr. Mann. They count lady vice chairman, they declare that for, I think our candidate was Marilyn Gordon, they declare that for somebody else. And so it went. And as they counted position, I have 100 people in Manning t-shirts around me. I'm the only man with a Rowley pin. But I stayed on that stage right down until they counted the last vote. And that is the kind of history I have with Dr. Rowley since 1996. So I've been with him through thick and thin. And everyone on this team has a story. Daniel Ducky, quiet but dependable, professional, dedicated. That is Assistant General Secretary for you. Avinash Singh, we sent Avinash Singh into, I would say, the valley of death. Chaguanas West is the strongest UNC seat. We sent Avinash Singh. He didn't flinch. He went. He fought. We sent him back again in 2015 into Caroni Central. He made an excellent showing, and he has remained committed to the PNM ever since. That's a up-and-coming PNM leadership material in the future. After Foster and Irene and all of them, of course. You had to wait. And then we have Robert Lee Hunt. Some people don't know who Robert is. Robert was almost a candidate for Labre, telling secrets now, in 1991. Then he was almost a candidate for Faizabad in another election, and so it went with Robert. Robert has been the chairman of San Fernando West. He has been campaign manager in San Fernando West. Then he came to my constituency, went to Barbados, came back and he was treasurer of Diego Martin East, went off to Africa and has come back to join the Rowley government, doing human service as Minister of Public Utilities, a true PNM soldier, Robert Lehan. And everybody here has a story. Everybody has a story. I'm so glad Mr. Padmore accepted our offer to him to be our education officer. You can't find a better person to educate young PNM members than Mr. Overan Padmore. You can't find a better person. And so it is with our team. And there's another aspect of our team. Our team is not just experienced in PNM and rooted and deep in PNM. We're all loyal and reliable. And we all understand who our leader is. We have supported him from day one, and we will support him going into the 2019 election. I want to tell you people in Central Trinidad, I've heard people making jokes about who better looking and all of that. That has nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. Don't mind I better looking, but it has nothing to do with it. It's all about teamwork. In that 2015 election, I've spoken about this before. We had a dedicated team of people. We had people on the ground like Foster, Joni Williams, Irene Hines on the ground. And we had other people doing other things. You had Rohan Sinanan coordinating. You had Andrew Gabriel managing communications and advertising and event planning. I was given the job to do the manifesto and to treat with the Election and Boundaries Commission, which is a job I've been doing for the PNM now for 20 years. I am the main interface with the Election and Boundaries Commission. Right through, I've been doing that job. But every one of us had a job, and I've spoken about Dr. Rowley in that 2015 election. I don't know how he did it. I write in the manifesto, Gabriel planning the events, Rohan running all about harassing people, and Dr. Rowley platform after platform, night after night, south, west, east, central Tobago, talking the PNM story. That was teamwork, and that's how we won that 2015 election. And that's how we won the 2016 local government election, and that's how we won the 2013 local government election, even though we were not in government at that time. It was teamwork, everybody working together with a common purpose, united as one. No sabotage, no undermining, no backstabbing, no zandoli, no 24 hours that changing the colors from one day to the other, that only want to emerge. You heard Irene talk about the economy. Yes, things are getting a little better. Things are getting a little better. You would have seen in newspapers today. The IMF has published its Article 4 report on Trinidad and Tobago for 2018. And I didn't say it, it's they say it. Trinidad and Tobago is now emerging from years of recession. And you know what is happening? I spoke in the mid-year review and I said I can see blue skies now. I didn't know Irene Latif was on. And there are certain characters who have not been part of Team PNM. I'm not talking Team Rowley now, Team PNM. They haven't been around. They haven't been present. They have not participated. They have not contributed to the PNM for the last 7 to 8 years. But now that it looks like things are getting better, and now it looks like it is quite possible that this PNM government led by Dr. Keith Rowley will easily win the next general election, all Zandali coming out of the hole. Too late. Too late. If you wanted to be part of our team, you should have come about 5 or 6 years ago and demonstrated that no matter what. I spoke about Franklin Can. He contested that mayoral seat 3 times. There are certain individuals like the one who is contesting against me. Lost the Chaguanas East seat in 2010. I didn't see him come as a candidate in 2015. And that's what PNM is all about. You have to keep at it. You have to be there. You have to be present. You can't just show up when things are going good. You can't pretend to support the leader when you have a history of stabbing him in the back. I want to give a little story here tonight, and if I offend anybody, I apologize from in front. But one of the worst experiences I had in my life was in September of 2010. The PNM had gone through a very difficult period. We had to change a leader. Mr. Manning had a difficult experience in Balize House, and the General Council ordered, I would have to say, instructed elected members of Parliament to go and support Dr. Keith Rowley as leader of the opposition. Because the way the leader of the opposition is decided in the Parliament is those elected members who are not members of the government will vote and pledge their support for the person they want to lead them as leader of the opposition. So we elected members of Parliament in 2010, 12 of us, had written to the President in accordance with the Constitution, and we had pledged our support to Dr. Keith Rowley as leader of the opposition in the 2010 to 2015 Parliament. That was around June 2010 or so, sometime around there, because the Parliament convened around June. But in September 2010, and I've been reminded that was around the time Dr. Rowley gave his first budget response as political leader of the People's National Movement, as leader of the opposition, his first budget response to the UNC. UNC was flying high in those days, 2010. The person who is contesting election against me, Mr. Mustafa Abdul Hamid, came to see me in my private office in Woodbrook. He was a colleague. I said, no problem, come into my office and let's talk. What do you want to talk to me about? And he brought with him a letter. And it was a letter addressed to Professor Maxwell Richards, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And it read as follows: we, the undersigned members of Parliament, no longer support Dr. Keith Rowley as leader of the opposition, and we wish to support, and that space was left blank to put in a name of somebody. So I looked at Mr. Hamid and I said, what you brought this for me for? So he said, well, we're not happy with Dr. Rowley as leader of the opposition, and we need to change him. I said, we? I said, you're not an elected member of Parliament? I am. I said, who is it we you're talking about? He said, well, look, they have 12 spaces here. I said, okay, what do you want me to do with this letter? He said, well, I want you to sign first. I said, what? He said, well, if you sign first, everybody else will follow. I said, oh. I said, all right. I said, how many names you need? He said, well, it's 12, we need 7. I said, I need 7? I said, go and get 6 and come back. Well, that man abused me in the worst possible manner and stormed out my office. And I have not seen that gentleman since then. That was 8 years ago. I have not seen him in General Council, because that is all about being part of the PNM, going to your constituency, getting elected to serve on General Council, participating. We have some people in Daliang, just came in the General Council, used to give real trouble when he just come, but he has matured. He has matured to the point that he's one of the finest youth speakers I've ever heard. Let's hear it for Ndale Young. Impressive speaker. But that is how you participate in the PNM. You go to your executive and you get yourself elected as a General Council representative. You come to General Council meetings. You participate. You speak. You argue points. You vote. You get involved in PNM business. I haven't seen Abdul Hamid in General Council for the last 8 years. And then we have annual conventions where constituencies come together. You go to whichever place the convention is held. You vote on resolutions. You get involved in party matters. You look at the performance of the party units over the year. You listen to the address of the political leader who will give you a report on what is happening and give you a vision for the way forward. I have not seen that gentleman in PNM conventions since 2010. And then as simple as a family and sports day. We had one in this beautiful part of Trinidad just the other day. Maybe he was there, I didn't see him. So I am saying I cannot stand for that. in my book, a true PNM is somebody who is there in the good times and there in the bad times. Somebody who is there when you're down, somebody who is there when you're up. And this team has been with us throughout. This is a true blue PNM team. This is our leader. And I ask you to vote for Team Rowley on September 30th and go forward to win the 2019 local election, the 2020 general election, and we say our war cry as we stand on that podium in 2019 and 2020. Great is the PNM, and it shall prevail.